On a vast desert plain, two mighty forces faced off. Alexander, young and fearless, led his outnumbered army against Persia's enormous power. Dust rose, swords clashed, and history shifted. This was no ordinary battle. It was a clash of destiny. Who truly shaped the fate of empires that day? Welcome to Travel to the Past, the podcast where we journey through some of history's most epic battles, moments that shaped the course of the world as we know it. Today, we're diving into the Battle of Gaugamela, where Alexander the Great took on the Persian Empire in one of the ancient world's most famous clashes. How did a smaller Macedonian army challenge the vast Persian forces? What strategies made Alexander a legend on the battlefield? And why do historians say this battle changed the course of history forever? Stay with us as we unravel the secrets of Gaugamela and uncover the legacy that still echoes through time. Before the battle, in 331 BC, Alexander the Great led his Macedonian and Greek coalition forces into Mesopotamia, targeting the heart of the Persian Empire. After his victory at Issus in 333 BC, Alexander solidified control over key territories, including Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. Now he turned his eyes toward the eastern provinces of Persia. The Persian king, Darius III, prepared to meet this formidable challenge, rallying an immense army, vastly outnumbering Alexander's troops. The Persians, equipped with chariots, war elephants, and a massive infantry, positioned themselves near a small hill called Gaugamela, close to modern-day Erbil in Iraq. The Macedonian and Greek alliance, led by Alexander, comprised roughly 47,000 soldiers, armed with long spears, shields, and advanced formations like the phalanx. They wore bronze armor that gleamed under the harsh sun. In contrast, the Persian army was immense, estimated at over 100,000 troops, including cavalry, war chariots armed with scythes, and even elephants. The Persians wore a variety of garments, from scale armor to richly decorated robes, signifying their vast and diverse empire. Darius chose Gaugamela's wide, flat terrain to maximize the effectiveness of his chariots and cavalry. However, omens and prophecies of defeat haunted his troops, unsettling their morale. Despite sending peace offers, Darius faced Alexander's resolute refusal. The Macedonian king, confident and strategic, saw this as his chance to claim supremacy. The battle begins. On September 30th, 331 BCE, the famous Battle of Gaugamela began. Darius III of Persia, with his large army, waited on a wide open battlefield he had prepared to use his war chariots and elephants to full advantage. On the other side stood Alexander the Great with his smaller, highly trained Macedonian forces. Both leaders were ready, but their strategies could not have been more different. As the battle began, Alexander chose to move his troops diagonally to the right, drawing the Persian army toward him. This clever move caused Darius to stretch his army wider, weakening the strong center of his lines. Alexander's plan was risky but brilliant. His elite cavalry, known as the companion cavalry, led by Alexander himself, pushed toward the right wing. This action pulled many Persian forces away from the center, creating a gap in their defenses. Darius, noticing the movement, ordered his war chariots to charge toward the Macedonian lines. These chariots, equipped with deadly sharp blades on their wheels, were meant to scare and break the ranks of Alexander's soldiers. But Alexander's men were well prepared. They stepped aside, allowing the chariots to pass through, and then quickly closed ranks again, neutralizing the chariots' impact. With the chariot threat under control, Alexander focused on exploiting the gap forming in the Persian center. At this critical moment, Alexander gave the signal, and his phalanx, armed with long spears called sarissas, advanced. The phalanx moved steadily forward, with the long spears creating a wall of points that was difficult for the Persians to counter. Meanwhile, the companion cavalry continued their attack on the right, while other Macedonian units engaged the left flank to hold off the Persian forces there. The center of the Persian army began to weaken under the pressure of Alexander's phalanx. Seeing his forces falter, Darius was filled with fear. He had hoped his large army would be enough to crush Alexander, but he could see his lines beginning to collapse. In a moment of panic, Darius fled the battlefield in his chariot, leaving his troops without their king's guidance. Without Darius to lead them, the Persian soldiers lost hope and began to retreat. Alexander, noticing Darius's retreat, ordered his men to continue the attack and pursue the fleeing Persian forces. His army pushed forward, capturing many of the Persian soldiers and securing a decisive victory. By the end of the battle, Alexander had not only defeated a much larger army, but also gained control over a vast region of the Persian Empire. But Alexander's ambition did not stop there. He kept chasing Darius to the east, determined to gain full control. Finally, he captured Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of Persia. In a moment of chaos and anger while drunk, Alexander set fire to the city, a powerful act that marked the end of Persian rule. By July 330 BCE, Darius was tragically killed by one of his own generals. Although some resistance remained in the northeastern areas, most of Darius's governors surrendered to Alexander, making him the true ruler of the Persian Empire. Reflection after the battle. Looking back at the Battle of Gaugamela, we can see why it was such a turning point in history. First, how did Alexander, with his smaller army, manage to defeat the massive Persian force? The answer lies in his brilliant strategy. By pulling Darius's army to the sides, he created a weak spot in the center and used his disciplined phalanx and cavalry to break through it. Alexander's leadership and his soldiers' loyalty played a crucial role in their victory. Second, what made Alexander's tactics so legendary? His plan at Gaugamela showed his deep understanding of the battlefield. He didn't rely on numbers, but on precise movements and timing, using every advantage he had. His army was highly trained, and his men trusted his vision, which allowed them to stay calm and focused, even against terrifying war chariots and elephants. Finally, why is this battle seen as one that changed history? Let's break it down into 5 simple reasons. Reason 1, the fall of the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire was one of the biggest and strongest empires of the ancient world. After Alexander the Great won this battle, the Persian Empire fell, and its lands became part of his growing kingdom. This marked the end of Persian power. Reason 2, the spread of Greek culture. Alexander didn't just win wars. He spread Greek ideas, art, and science to the lands he conquered. He built new cities like Alexandria, where Greek and local cultures mixed. This blending of cultures lasted for centuries and shaped future civilizations. Reason 3, power shift from east to west. Before this battle, most powerful empires were in the east, like Persia and Egypt. After Alexander's victory, power moved to the west, starting with Greece and later Rome. This shift influenced the history of the world for centuries. Reason 4, new military strategies. Alexander was a genius on the battlefield. He used smart tactics, like the phalanx formation, combined with fast cavalry attacks. His strategies helped him win, even though the Persian army was much bigger. These ideas influenced how wars were fought for a long time. Reason 5, Alexander's legacy. This victory made Alexander the Great's name legendary. It allowed him to keep conquering more lands, even reaching India. His empire became one of the largest in history, and his story inspired leaders and thinkers for generations. Today, the site of Gaugamela lies near the city of Erbil in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Though the exact battlefield has been lost to time, the region's rugged landscapes and historical sites still resonate with echoes of this epic encounter. Visitors can explore the rich culture of the local Kurdish people, visit ancient ruins, and experience the profound connection to history. A journey here allows you to stand where empires once clashed and envision the might of Alexander's triumph. If you wish to travel affordably or experience self-guided audio tours, check the link in the video description below. Thank you for joining us. If you love videos about battles that changed history, explore our channel for more.